Three, two, one. Hello, everyone. This is Nick Davis here with Finest Athletics. Today, I have a special guest. I won't steal any of his thunder. He's got a lot of thunder. In my heart, this man's got a lot of thunder. Y'all may not know him yet, but you will shortly. Introducing Devin O'Reilly.
What's up, finest athletic family, and people tuning in. Man, thank you, Nick, and your organization for having me on. Nick is like, we don't got the same mother and father. That's my brother, man. We've been through valleys and peaks together. And thank you for having me on. I'm excited to have this conversation.
Oh yeah. So just to kind of jump in, to give them a little backstory, me and Devin went to college together. He is still living up in the Massachusetts area. My Southern California bones could not take the cold. So I'm down here in Charlotte, North Carolina. But Devin has an impressive sports. I don't even think you could just call it sports training because they do so much more. But Stronger Performance and Wellness is a brand, a company, a group, a tribe, a brotherhood, sisterhood. It goes on. But that's something that Devin has kind of reached in, found his core values and put it into a group or into a team. So I wanted him to come on today just to give us the who, what, when, where, why around Stronger Performance Wellness. We'll jump into a couple questions that we have lined up. And again, the main focus of this interview or this channel is to give back information to those that may have not come in contact with this information before. Because we were all there at once, especially as athletes. So it's free game for everyone. So, I'll let you kind of get into it, Dev, but, just jump into kind of that who, what, when, where, and why of Stronger P&W.
Yeah. So Stronger Performance and Wellness, that gorilla on the chest. Who we are a faith-based performance and wellness company. And what we do, we look to take your body to its limits and train your mind to go past that. So we're really into the mind, body, spirit of being a holistic athlete. It's not just your ability on the field, but it's you as an entire person. We're a pretty young company, actually coming up on our probably a year anniversary. Myself and a longtime friend, Kyron McKinney-Cruden, who helped start the business, and he's always checking in, but he's grown to do big things in New York City. So was kind of like the co-founder, and we decided in the middle of the pandemic, people were just like not doing much. And we're athletes, have a great athletic mindset, past careers as football players and doing different sports. And we're like, we got to tap in, and it's more than just tapping in with your physical ability. We really wanted to tap in with your mind. So we do physical training, physical personal training, athletic training, team training, but we also take athletes through 3 phases of mental programming, right? So we're going to work on your foot speed. We're going to work on, getting stronger, whether that's in game situations or in the gym, but we're also going to strengthen your mind. Me and Kyra, we used to talk about it. We're so used to seeing people go places to get bigger, faster, stronger. But what we see a lot is bigger, faster, stronger quitters. Not that you're not able to do it, but right, your mind taps out before your body even reaches its max limits. So that's where we kind of hopped in with the mind, sports psychology, overall psychology side of things. So we're really into training your body and training your mind at the same time to make you a fuller person. So that's kind of like our why. We've seen so many athletes have these great abilities and not really be able to take their body and their mind to the fullest potential. And we want to see that. There's so many sad stories of athletes coming from these hard stories and almost making it out. Right when we were first, drawing the blueprints of our program, we heard about this story. This kid had like 15 D1 scholarship football offers, and a month before he's getting ready to go to camp, he gets shot and killed. Just by the mental aspect of being around things you're not supposed to be in, of really realizing who you are and your true potential. He obviously had the ability, but didn't have anybody he could reach out to help train his mind to get him out of that situation and on the right path. With that being said, like I said earlier, we are a faith-based company, and I kind of brought that in somewhere in my life where I found true power, true passion, faith that's helped me get through tough times and enjoy the good times. Is through my faith. And that does not mean we discriminate against people who don't have faith, who are different faith. We welcome all that. Our logo is fire. right? Faith, intensity, resilience, and effort. That's how we play. That's how we live our life. And the first word being faith, because there's going to be times where it doesn't feel or seem or look like anything is going right. Sports, life, relationship, career, education, and you got to have faith. Now, I have faith in God. I have faith in Jesus, that I can look to. Some people might have faith in family, grandparents, or different religions, different faiths. You might put your faith in someone else. When it's that tough time and you need somewhere to look, that's what we want to teach, our individuals, our athletes, that, it's good to be in those tough times, but in those tough times, it's also good to have some faith that there's sunshine above the clouds, there's sunshine outside of the rain. So we dance in the rain with our faith. We fight with intensity. We're resilient, and we bring effort every single time, every rep, every game, every test in school, every conversation with our friends, our family, our parents. We bring that fire. So that's kind of like who we are. We do a lot. We talk about nutrition. We talk about technique. We talk about stretching. And on Sundays we do this thing called Scripture Sundays, where we bring up different scriptures, try to get some teaching out there. And I feel like that was important to me, because I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have the confidence in my voice, confidence in my action without my faith. So it'd be disrespectful for me to leave that out. So I'm happy to bring it to individuals, so hopefully they are able to catch their glow, catch their fire early on in life than I did. So that's kind of like who we are.
I don't think they could to wrote it better than that, honestly. And I was snapping and stuff while you were talking, because even before the company, like, that was number 10. That was Black Irish. That was Devin O'Reilly in an athlete, through actions, whether it's on the field, off the field, studying, late hours of the night, waking up. I'll still never forget that time we were training for those 40s and stuff like that. I'll admit my mental toughness wasn't there, because it was below freezing every day. Super dark. By the time we left the gym after 2 hours, it was still dark.
Still dark.
But that, like, mental drive, and I think it comes down to having a why. And for you, it's the faith-based why, and how you carry yourself, why you carry yourself a certain way. And I like the point that you said, it doesn't have to be towards God or Jesus. If you have a why, it'll fight a lot of battles for you, or it'll be right behind you in case you get out to a new school and you're not playing, or you get a new job and no one likes you and hours are rough. Like, you need something to kind of pick you up when you're facing something tough. So I mean, like I said, when you first started it, I was all on board. I got the sticker on the car. Like, anytime someone asks me, I can't wait to tell them, because it's a different aspect of training. It's, yeah, you can dunk, but what are you gonna do when you get dunked on? Like, you're gonna have courage. You're gonna have something that's telling you, like, okay, now I gotta, life will humble you a lot of ways. So I love it, man. I love it. Let's jump into this second question. And I know we touched on it a little bit before, and I think we're gonna drop a lot of gems on a lot of athletes, old and young, for this one. But what information did you learn as an adult that could have helped you as a younger athlete? And kind of pinpointing really quick, I didn't put this in the question before, but pinpoint, if you can, a situation where, like, if you had that piece of knowledge, that situation would have been just an overall win. Like, I don't know, any situation.
I guess the best way to start out this question is give you a little bit more background about my athletic career, because I identified, maybe we'll get into this a little later, I identified so much as an athlete. I identified more as a football player than I did as Devin. So I learned a lot of lessons on how to break that stigma I had about myself growing through. And I didn't learn a lot of these lessons till the end, not the end, after my playing career was done, and looking back, I'm like, I think I was good. I had a little respect, but I could have been something more special than I was if I had these lessons. But everything happens for a reason. So like I said, a little bit background. Out of high school, I went to high school in Glassboro, Connecticut, GHS, the G train. Left high school and went to University of Albany. Awesome school. Coaches, staff, coaches, players, the community. Albany is, if you ever had the chance to check it out, or if you have the chance to go or go to school there, or just go visit, awesome school. Some things went down. I had to be humbled by life. That was my, I believe in God. He humbled me. So I left Albany after my freshman year. I took a year off of school, worked 40 hours a week at this bus company where I was cleaning limos, driving coach buses, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., taking classes. Had to learn a lot of life things there, and had the beautiful, blessed opportunity to go to Merrimack College, where I finished out my collegiate career, and earned a degree in athletic training, sports medicine with a concentration in athletic training. And I learned a lot of different things, and I've learned bits and pieces of these things I'm about to talk about. And I didn't realize them until after I kind of started to mature a little bit. And one thing is patience. Patience, man. And not just patience like, I'm gonna put a hot pocket in the microwave for a minute, and I'm gonna sit here for this minute. But what patience is an ultimate teacher. And patience in sport is a serious deal. You know, leaving high school, my dad used to say this all the time: you're high school hero to a college zero. If that ain't the realest statement every athlete could really get and put in their heart, is because you're gonna go from being the man, being the woman, or being however you identify, the king, queen of the castle that you're running stuff to, whoa, you know? And a lot of people take that to heart because we don't have patience. I know I did not have patience. And it's a lot of gut power to stand up and speak or tell people, you know, I didn't have patience. I wanted to be great. You know, that was my mindset: be legendary, be great. And to get to that level, it takes patience. Now, patience is not just waiting. Patience is work. Patience is discipline. Patience is trust. So one thing I think I wish I would have had was patience, understanding the process. You hear that phrase is thrown around more than it used to be, so it's kind of cliche now, but trusting the process is having true patience. Learning the community, learning yourself, learning the playbook, learning the coaches, learning your teammates, and being patient, waiting for your time to come. Now that applies to sport. Now, I told you my business is more, you know, we're really on a holistic level, but also in life. Patience in growing in your education, in your relationship, right? We live in an Instagram like share society now, and there's no patience is taught in that. If you're in a relationship, building an intimate, a friendly, a family, or a professional relationship, it takes time to understand things. It takes time to understand people. So that's very important, patience. And like I said, I mentioned trust. My next point is trust. Now, as a world, we trust in perfection. You think about it, you meet a girl, you meet a guy, like, oh, do you trust me? Yeah, I trust you to be great, right? And that is single-handedly something that will destroy your relationship. That will single-handedly destroy your athletic career, right? Trusting in perfection, that you think somebody is going to be perfect all the time. And I'll give you this point, and I hope you take it with you, is trust in progression, right? Do not trust in perfection, trust in progression. You are going to fail. Someone is going to fail. We are human, we mess up. But you put trust in progression, that you can help someone stand up, that you can help yourself stand up, and you progress further. So trust and progression. I didn't trust myself. When I failed, I would run a route wrong and I would mess up. I didn't trust myself to not be progressive. I trusted myself to be perfect. So when I failed, I would be so down on myself that I wouldn't be able to really pick myself out of the dumps until I made another great play. So in between making a very bad play and a great play, I kind of missed out on that beautiful time I had to just play the game of football. You miss out on that beautiful time to just be in communication with somebody else because you put trust in perfection. You didn't put trust in progression. So that's point two: patience, trust. The third one is practice what you're bad at. What? I'll practice what I'm good at, homie. Practice what you're bad at. Do something that you are not good at, right? David Goggins says you double down on what you're good at, you triple down on what you're bad at, and make those things what you're great at. Right? I always used to my dad had a gym growing up, so I was kind of always strong, wasn't always fast. So I was like, I'll practice my speed, but that didn't psychologically make me feel better. So I would just lift. I became strong and quick, and I never worked on my speed. And that's one thing that deterred me later on in my career, was not being fast. There's a difference. I was quick. You boy can go left and right, but straight line speed, that's something I lacked. And I wish I would have practiced on what I was bad at. Practice on, being a true leader. And that's coming from, I was a 2-time captain in college. But being a true leader is being able to reach out to somebody who's not doing a very good job at their job, and giving them corrective criticism that lifts them up and not put them down. Being quiet never serves anybody. Only leading in good times never serves nobody, never serves your community, never serves the team. But to reach out to somebody and preach to them when it's not going right, preach to them about their wrongdoings and helping them lift them up is something I was not good at, and I didn't practice it. And that's something that I think I wish I could have done a little bit better. It's not a regret, because I learned you never fail, you have lessons. So that's something I would practice. Practice what you're bad at is another piece of advice. So patience, trust in progression, not perfection, and practice what you're bad at. are three pieces of advice that I wish I knew when I was younger to help me propel my career a little further.
Yeah, man, that's gold because, as you were saying that, I couldn't help but have like little like moments because as athletes, you don't forget plays that happen. Good, good, bad, plays that didn't mean anything. You always remember them. So like as you're saying, practice what you're bad at. First thing that popped in my mind was I didn't lift in high school. Like the gym was a cool spot to kick it.
Mm,
You didn't really lift. You were almost weird if you were the strong kid, like, oh wow, he's squatting. So like I never lifted because I wasn't strong. But you could always catch me throwing a football, second
mm,
throw. Um, but again, it's just like I feel that a lot of athletes walk around now, especially younger athletes. No one's ever told them to do that. Like no one's
mm,
ever said, "Hey, yeah, you got a nice jumper, but you can't dribble, like you can't drive. You're very small." And it's not a knock against the person. It's like, "Hey, I'm trying to look out for you. You could be great. Right now, you're good. You could be great by doing
mm,
just these little things." And I see that a lot with not only my own career, but we've known tons of people that they could do this, that, and the third, but if they only worked on that one thing they were bad at, which again,
unstoppable.
that's a very simple, straightforward tip, but not everyone has someone to tell them that or help them get better at the things they're bad at.
Right.
Um, and then another thing, what was the one you said? Ah, so the practice on or
Trusted
aim for
progression.
trust progression, not perfection.
Action.
I see that not only in my own career, it's like as a quarterback, I was like the gunslinger. I try to fit every ball into every window, even if it had no business going there. You throw interceptions. It wasn't until like I was older to understand like Jameis Winston went 30 for 30 and got paid millions. He doesn't care. That time in between an interception and a touchdown wasn't like my lows because I throw a pick this drive. I might lead into another pick just because I'm still down about it.
So down
Wasn't
about it.
trusting the wasn't trusting the process. And I see that with some of the young athletes I train. I make it a habit to go out to their games to see, are you really doing the stuff we're working on or what can we change? I
Mm,
see, young athletes striking out swinging at that. Uh, if you swung, you pretty much gave your all. You tried. He had a better pitch than you had a swing. Letting that like snap, like, oh, I'm not perfect because I didn't get on base. But now you go out in the next inning and you pitch. Now your pitching is not as good because you're still carrying that at bat of trying to be perfect. And I think what a lot of young athletes don't understand is there's so much more of that sport if you choose to. Granted, injuries, things like that take athletes out of the game sooner. But for me, when we played Bentley, my senior year, I had like 3 interceptions. And in my head, I was like, this stat line will never make sense. Like this ratio of touchdowns to like now I gotta go double time here, this and that. But if you focus on the progress, it's like, hey, this next throw is gonna get me back on rhythm. This next
mm,
one's gonna get the drive going. And athletes, it's so hard to think like that when you're in it, but tails back to that like what's your why, what's that rock behind you, that what's going to have you, whether it's faith, whether it's family, whether it's your brothers, like what's going to have that. And at the time I was reaching for something to like get me up, it was nothing because I was
mm.
so deep on this, like I gotta be perfect, I gotta be perfect. You don't ever have to play a perfect game. If you win the game, you win the game.
Right.
And then to the one point, I guess tails off kind of towards my point, but the one information I wish I had sooner was that you see a lot of young athletes, especially nowadays, like I want to do the flashy training. I want to catch the ball one-handed. I want to do this, that. You mentioned it earlier. I want to get on Instagram, throw 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, like flashy. It's great. But then as you get older, you notice that the great professionals, they practice day one things. They don't
Amen.
practice anything abnormal that hasn't been seen. Like Derrick Henry, yeah, I've seen him on Instagram doing a few things here and there, but that all stems from him grinding out in the weight room,
Basic.
being freakishly strong, running hills. Like
Basic.
no equipment needed. He ran a hill, top speed, to then go out and then run past defenders at top speed. They don't do anything, like I said, abnormal. It's just the basics at a high level. I like the way you said earlier, is like, we want the depth of knowledge. Like, I want you to be good as a quarterback. I'm putting together like a drop back program, and I'll send you that once that gets polished up and whatnot. But if you can do a good drop back, you're unstoppable. A 3-step under center. If I take a 3-step and throw a quick out, defenders, you can't. What are you going to tackle me at 5-yard gain? Like, I'll do that in the entire field. Right. So I think, as an athlete, understanding it's okay to just work fundamentals, but be great at fundamentals. Like, shoot 1,000 free throws instead of 100 3-pointers.
Right.
So, and I think, what's the memory? Oh, my freshman year of college, I thought it was all juiced up, like, new kid on campus, Moore Park College, stand up. But thought I was the man. We ended up going into overtime with the team we had no business going into over. Like, we could have beat them in the 4 quarters. We had them. Had 2 touchdowns, passing, 2 rushing, the game-winning one on a quarterback sneak. Come back to practice on Monday, 3rd string, like, no reps. Like, you got scout reps. You didn't get any team reps. And I'm like, man, I'm doing all this. I'm running around doing. My coach sits me down. He's like, you didn't do any of the fundamental stuff we practice. And that was the first time it hit me, like, damn. So I don't have to do all these flashy plays. And even now I look at like my highlight tapes. I'm like, oh, I missed the wide open guy while I was running around 30 yards to gain 5. So, and it's hard, especially for these younger athletes. Like, I need views. I need my tape to be snapping, this, that. But I think what coaches, especially high-level coaches, they want to see you do the little things very well. And if you want to jump in on that, I think kind of feel that.
Coaches, and I've been, now that I've been on the coaching side, talked to coaches on the coaching side, not on the athlete side. Coaches, when they come to see you, what they want to see is you be a good teammate. They want you to take care of your business and do the fundamentals great. You want to be legendary, do the basics. We can pawn that right now. You want to be legendary, do the basics very well. They don't want to see you, right? They'll appreciate your one-handed, Derek Jeter from the second base backhand throw to first, or, your home run bat flip, or your one-handed Odell in the end zone, or your slap shot from the blue line, or what other sports we got? Your Jimmy jumper from, 3 points with 3 seconds running down. They'll love to see that. That's awesome. But they want to bring people into their program, right? Good people for their community, good people for their team. So you got to be a great teammate. They're watching you more times not making a play when the play's somewhere else than they are when the play's coming to you. Because who you are away from the play is who you really are. And I'll get into this later, but sports don't change your character, they reveal it. Right? Sports don't, you don't get leadership from sports. The sport reveals your leadership. You don't get resilience. Sports reveal your resilience and stuff like that. So Coach Nick makes a great point here. You want to be legendary, do the basics, have depth in the very fundamental things, and it'll take care of itself.
Yeah, man. And then, I can't think of the amount of times that either I'm watching football, whether it's NFL, high school, 7-on-7, and you see it at all levels. It's the athlete that stands out is the one who play in, play out, it just does their job. Like a Larry Fitzgerald, that's the one person in like baseball. I wasn't as big in watching baseball, but Derek Jeter, you can argue, is just a guy who shows up, does his job. Granted, he'll make these spectacular plays, so Larry Fitz, but you can always count on them, especially as a coach. I know he's going to be good. Like, I don't have to worry about him. I'll worry about the other 8 or the other 10 players on the field, because I know Larry Fitz, I know Jeter, they're going to do their job. And as an athlete, if you can be pretty much green check by your name, like, I don't even have to worry about him or her or they doing their job, you're good. And that comes back to that trust factor of 4th and 1, who's the coach going to trust to run this route?
Best.
Soko.
The best. Yeah. It's a great point. We talk about, so many kids talk about playing time. Coach, I want to play. Mom and dad, I want to play. Playing time has nothing to do with your ability. If you're on the team, your coach believes in that you have the ability. especially as you get to higher levels. You know, you get to higher club teams, AAU teams, travel teams. You get to higher level collegiate ball, and then the professionals, right? Everybody on the field has the ability to be there, but the ones who play, the ones who are consistently starters or that 1A group that are on the field are the ones the coaches can trust to get the job done. I struggled with this in my career. I thought I was, had the same ability. I was like, what's going on? I was selfish. Don't think you're going to play being selfish either. And it was not because of my abilities, because the coach could know I was going to make a play, but he didn't trust that I was going to do everything correct, run the right route, do what he asked, and be where I need to be. And that comes from, I didn't practice what I wasn't good at, right? That goes back to the other point. So playing time doesn't come down to ability. Can the coach, whoever's coaching you, whatever situation you're in, can the coach trust that you're going to do the right thing all the time? So don't be hard on yourself. Most of the time when you're not playing, you're like, why? You start stressing out. I got to be stronger. I got to take some type of supplements. I got to cheat my way to get up. No, it has nothing to do with ability. It's got to do with the trust factor that the coach can trust you that you're going to make the play 100% of the time, not 90. Coaches are coaching. That's their job. That's how they support their family. That's how they take care of their wives and their kids. They are trying to win. And to win, you got to trust the people that are out there. So you want to play, earn trust in practice, not in games. Earn trust in practice and outside the practice field. You'll see it come.
I can think back in 4 years of college football. At one point, I was not starting not because the person in front of me was more athletic or can throw, like never been the case. But one way or another, it was, can I trust that you're just going to make this throw, like the right throw, instead of scrambling around like the Nick Davis show, which my freshman college coach used to say, and I laugh about it now. But in essence, like I wouldn't have trusted myself to go out and make the easy throws, make the easy throws, like make sure that 100% of the time I'm going to be a great leader, like 12 is going to lead this team regardless, thick and thin. Nah, I hated losing. Like, and Dev will tell you, like, I hated it, whether it was because of me or because of someone else. As a coach, if you have guys like that, you can't sacrifice, and I see it happen, but you can't sacrifice the team for the one player. Like, granted, yes, they're going to make good plays, but are they going to make the right plays? Because now this quarterback scrambling out to his right had no business doing that. But now our guard and tackle aren't doing their job. Mm. Now you're pulling down two other players because you're not doing your job, and it kind of snowballs like that. So to your point, if you can't be trusted to make the right play, not a good play, because we can all make good plays, or you wouldn't be on the field or the court. If you can't make the right play, you don't play, and especially at high levels and kind of what youth sports are turning into, it's more of a you try out, you're good enough to play on this team because we're trying to compete to be the best in the country. It's not too much little league where people are just showing up anymore. So you got to be, not great. Just got to be accountable.
The right play.
Yeah.
We talk about sports a lot. Let's break it down for these youngins and anybody who's listening in a different analogy way. Because in sports, it's like, I'm balling. Like they can let me play. Say we've all been to school. We all did some type of education or some type of class. If your teacher comes in, they got all these programs, all these activities, but they don't teach you the right thing, that teacher will be replaced. Somebody else will be hired to teach you the right thing, right? And in that case, that's a teacher's playing time. Your mom and dad might be an architect. They could have these crazy degrees. They could have this great design. If they don't build the building right, they're not going to play. They're going to hire somebody else, put somebody else in to run the play correctly, to build the building correctly, right? Break it down simple. If you have a mom or dad or you have a guardian at home and you're 12 or younger, right, they're kind of probably cooking for you, getting you some type of food. If mom and dad don't give you the right food, like, wow, what's going on? And that's how sometimes your coach is like, man, you have the ability to, we got kitchen, we got food in the house, right? You know the play, you know the snap count, but you're not doing the right thing. You got to get somebody else to do that, right? You can't replace your parents. Your parents are not going to leave you hungry, right? But just to get your mind around what we're really talking about here, the right play. It doesn't have to be, right, what Coach Nick was talking about, like this super ESPN top 10, right? The right play all the time, consistent. Consistency. We can get into that, maybe a different conversation, but be consistent. in the right thing. So awesome boy.
Yeah, I mean, and I always like tie back to this, and people are like, "Oh, like how long you been coaching?" And I'm like, "Well, you know, structured coaching, just starting the brand and the team and stuff like that." But the second someone gave me knowledge, I've been coaching because I was
Mm.
just passing that knowledge on. And I think we've gotten to a place now, and you may connect with this like I do, but I almost look back and like, why didn't someone like pull me to the side and give me this information? Why didn't someone tell me, hey, just do this, don't do this? Like, granted, there probably, I can tell you there were people doing that, but for a lot of athletes, there's no one to say, that's not how this is done. That's like, show up to class, do average in class, get a 2.5, get a scholarship straight out of college. No one was telling me that in high school, but I had all the talent. It's not about talent. It's about, can you do the right things consistently? And for young athletes like myself, and you've probably been there, and we know so many athletes, even at the college level, if someone was to give them just a bit more information, it's like a plant. Dang, if I would have watered that plant one more day, that thing would be grown. It would sprout right now. I'd have flowers everywhere, I'd fruit, everything. But if no one's there to water the plant, if no one's going to put anything on the seed that's ready to bloom, we get the athletes at home that are like, man, that was nice in high school. It's like, yeah, it's unfortunate that someone didn't give you just a little bit of like a push, like information push to get you to that next level.
Mm.
And you won't be a stranger to the channel. I'm trying to bring you back a lot because even in our short time of being college roommates and teammates, the lessons that we both learned together, like from either one of our actions or a teammate's action, like we can write a book.
Mm.
And I know too many people with information from different places and different coaches. There's got to be a bridge. And I was talking about this before we started recording. Is that's kind of my aim and my intent behind this channel. It's like, yeah, views are cool, but I mean, it doesn't do much for me.
Substance.
Yeah, it's just,
Substance.
it'd be a disservice to not give this information back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll kind of wrap it up there. And I think, you know, the people got a good amount of nuggets, some good takeaways, and hopefully we get some comments. I would love to bring you back on and get more of a conversation going. I really want them to kind of hear a little bit more about, not just Devin O'Reilly, but, you know, Black Irish and sporting number 10, because that was a different animal for those who don't know Devin. Very nice and calm, put together here, but you know, when it's time to step in those lines, it was more of a war, and I think that just ties back into that mental game that he would play, so that once he was playing the game of football, it was so easy to him. Not easy as in like, you know, we had 500 yards a game, but just nothing phased him, good, bad, in between. So,
pain.
yeah, this man's a nut, to say the least. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you stopping by and just talking good knowledge, dropping some gems on people. We'll get this posted very soon, and shoot, man, can't wait to see what the future holds. I think we should definitely, the people need a collab. We need a collab session, and that's what really needs to happen.
I appreciate you, Coach Nick. I appreciate Finest Athletics Nation, team members, and individuals. Coach Nick's dropping a lot of knowledge, and he put a nugget out there, right? Kind of listen, right? I have a faith. God gave us 2 years to listen more than we talk, right? And he talked about the seed. Don't let your water fall on a seed that's on rocks. Put it on good soil. So listen to what Coach Nick's talking to you about, and who he brings on here. I know he takes great pride in the individuals and the people that follow him. So he's going to give you some good knowledge. So thank you, Coach Nick. Thank you to everyone who checked in. Stronger PW, great, is extraordinarily grateful for Finest Athletics and Coach Nick. We'll always stay in contact. So I appreciate it. Stay blessed.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, brother.